Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to this demo video for the basic process tracker. What is a basic process tracker? Very simply put, if you follow the same process for all of your projects, you might have, different stages of each project that you can kind of predetermine. So each project's going to go through the same stages. For example, if someone's ordering something from you, you might have order processing, then packaging, then package sending, and then reply to client, whatever. You might have a process that you follow, that each project follows. And what this does is it allows you to specify that process, and then each project it asks you for your completion date of each of those stages, and then starts the next stage countdown. So one of the most important things on this spreadsheet is actually the setup, which is over here. As you can see, the actual tracker is fairly straightforward. But what that does is completely dependent on this setup page. So let me just go through how this works. The project stages, in each stage, as you can see, I've just given it, I haven't even given them names, just given them numbers. But you can name each stage. So you can have your first stage, packaging, whatever you want to do, to name them. You don't have to use all 10. If you use fewer than 10, make sure that you start at 1 and work your way down. Don't use like 3 and then leave 4 blank, and then use 5 and 6. Don't leave blank spaces. Start at the top, use them. When you get down to the bottom, don't fill in anything. So if you leave any unused ones completely blank. So the first one is the heading. The second one is just some informative text that goes above the heading, because I realize the headings aren't that wide because we want them to fit on a page. So there are your headings, and then you've got informative text that just goes above the headings. So if you want to have, say for argument's sake, I don't know, data collection or whatever, you can maybe put data as your header, and collection here as a top header, just so you can kind of see what it is. But anyhow, you can type in your header, an informative text for each of your categories, and then how many days each stage should take. Put in whole numbers there. Do days mean working days or all days, or that depends, that's up to you. That you can select over here. So when you come to exclude, you can either exclude weekends and bank holidays, which means that it only takes Monday to Friday, and if it's a bank holiday, it excludes them. Or you can have weekends only, so you can exclude weekends only, which means that it will go Monday to Friday, regardless of if there's a bank holiday or not. Or you can exclude nothing, which means it literally counts every single day. So you can make that selection. What a number of days warning before a task is due. So if there's a task due in 3 days' time, and you put 3 days warning, then 3 days before that task is due, it will flag up yellow and say that there's a warning on that. In fact, the exact word that we used was alert. So there'll be alert on that particular task if you get within 3 days. So you can set how many days you want it before, and obviously that number of days will include what you've selected over here. So you can put in a whole number there, number of days before the task is due. And lastly, your day count. Now you've got two options. You've got keep rolling or reset on each task. Now what that means is if you're due to finish a task today and you don't finish it today, you finish it in 3 days' time, and then the following task was supposed to be done in 5 days. If you select keep rolling, what will happen is it'll predetermine all of your dates based on your start date. And if you go over a task, the other task will start its countdown straight away before you finished it. So in other words, if you like, I've got 5 days for each task, and one task takes 10 days. As soon as you get to the next task, you're already overdue because you've already gone beyond all of the days. The other option is to select reset on each task, which means what that will do is if you don't finish a task, if a task becomes overdue, it'll show as overdue, but as soon as you complete it, the next task will start its countdown from the date the previous task ended, and you won't already be behind. So you need to choose whether so if the total number of days for your project is important, you have to finish it over those number of days, then you can select keep rolling. If you want to see how long each task took, and if this task went well over, and that task you did within the number of days, you want that to show as completed on time, then select reset on each task, because that won't keep the time accounting. It'll only start the following task when you finish the previous task, if that makes sense. I hope so. So those are your settings. Once you've done that, you're ready to go. Actually using your spreadsheet is dead simple. So if we come here and add a new project 5, for example, and you say when do you want that to start, let's just say that started on the 12th of March. You can see the next date is already overdue, so that would have been the 19th of March. So if we click on there, it gives us today's date, but we can override that date and just put 19th of March. The next one would have been due on the 26th. Let's just say we finished that on the 27th of March. Now there's a warning on for this one. Those two are both due on the 2nd. So as we can see here, that would be these two tasks have got alerts because they're both due on the 2nd. So that task for this particular project is due within the next 3 days, as is that one. When you get down to the due date, when it's due that day, then this column will show up and it'll be orange, and if it's overdue, that column will show up and it will be red. In fact, if we remove that one, 27th of March, you'll see it shows as overdue. If you finish it today, you can, if you're up to date and you I mean, obviously I'm putting the spreadsheet in as in past tense, but if you finish on the 30th of March, then you just have to click the drop down list. It'll show you today's date, and you can select it, and then it shows you when the next one's due. So this is a good way to keep up to date with your tasks. You can see at a glance, you can sort by any of these columns. You can see at a glance as to which ones are actually alerts or due today or overdue, and there's a total here as to what's actually happening below. So even if you scroll down later on, you can see your totals at the top of the page. That's all you really need to do. When you get to the point of completing the last last task that you've named, because these ones will be excluded because they're blank. These ones that you named, as soon as you finish the last one, then this whole task will be taken as complete and as complete. So these ones are active, and you can see by the different color cells. A gray cell here means that there is a task coming, but it's not an alert yet. It's not due today yet, and it's not overdue yet, but there is something coming. So you can see exactly what's going on with all your projects on one page, which is actually very, very handy. The report will automatically generate as you go along. So here's your report, and on your report it shows the number of projects started, number of active projects 3, number of completed projects 3, and what was your success rate on your overall projects. Now this figure might be a little bit distorted if you've got your setting on reset the time after every task, because this is only based on your final task. So if you've got your time following on, then this will be an accurate figure. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit distorted. But then you've also got your success rate for individual tasks. You can see 63% of tasks have been finished on time. So here, if you go down below, you can see completed on time overall. These are your completed jobs. One project completed on time, one project completed late. Those are based on the final dates, final task dates. And then you've got individual tasks, 10 and 6, based on each task. So you can see exactly what your success rate is in projects based on finishing on time or finishing them late. And here you've got a graph of your current status, so overdue, due today, alerts, active, and you can see what your active projects are actually up to at that point. Also, if you scroll further down, there's quite an interesting graph I put here. You may or may not find this useful, but what you can do is enter a date over here. So all you need to do is put in any date from the month you'd like to see, and it'll pull up that month below. So I've entered February and March because that's the data I've entered. So you can see on each day of the month what interim tasks you completed late. That's the light green, which you can see through. What interim tasks have been completed on time. So those are tasks that have been completed on time. And what final tasks have been completed late or final tasks completed on time. And you can scroll on, there's obviously final task completed on time. So you can see what's happening there as far as you can have an overview of 2 months. So you can actually look through 2 months and go, wow, in March I actually finished a lot of tasks, or I did a lot of stuff, but it was a lot of tasks were late, you're running behind. It might give you an overview as to how you comparing month on month as far as finishing tasks are concerned, and finishing on time and that type of thing. When you're actually using this properly, and you haven't just put in fictitious dates like I have, you might be able to spot some trends and things within those two graphs. So yeah, whatever date you put in to here, whatever date you can put in a date, it'll show you that month. It doesn't matter really what the days that you put in. If I put in the 10th of February, it would have shown me exactly the same graph. So yeah, I hope that helps you. I really hope it helps you get on top of your projects. There is one last thing I just want to say. This is obviously in the basic range. If you think, well, this is a really great idea and you like the concept of the dates and following all your projects, but you want something far more comprehensive, there is another product which is in our prime range, which allows you to set each task as to whether you want it to roll on or whether you want it to reset. And it's just got a lot more functionality and a lot more going on with it, and a lot more reporting and information. If you would like to see that, there's a link over here. You can click on that click here link and it'll take you to the product on our website. But otherwise, we wish you all the best, and yeah, hope that you enjoy the spreadsheet. Thank you. Goodbye.